first recognize our great Major General, Adjutant General Greg Lusk. Greg, great having you here. You're around here somewhere. I'm up behind you. Oh, I'd like to thank you and your team also for your help last week during the storms down at the coast. I'd like to thank Major General Cornell Wilson, who's my military advisor. Cornell, great having you here. Hilario Pantano, you're not a general, but you served.
Hoorah, sir.
You served in Iraq, and we appreciate your service. And he's working with military and Veterans Affairs in charge of that whole effort. And Hilario, it's great to have you on our team. And I'll tell you, we have some great senators who just did an outstanding job on this bill and led the effort to get this thing passed. North Carolina Senator Ron Rabin, North Carolina Senator Wesley Meredith, North Carolina Senator Lewis Pate, North Carolina Senator Ben Clark, and North Carolina Senator Warren Daniel. Y'all need to give them a round of applause. They wrote some notes for me, but I'm not going to read the notes. I'm going to speak from the heart, because this legislation, the leadership that made this happen came from the heart. I told a group of people here not too long ago, when I spoke to many of you in the auditorium right around the corner, that I had a terrible experience in high school in which my cousin Paul came back from Vietnam and he was not given the warm welcome that he deserved. And I committed to my Veterans Affairs person and my Military Affairs person, we're never going to do that again in this country, not as long as I'm governor. And we're going to welcome people who are coming back home from Iraq and Afghanistan and give them a hero's welcome. In addition to that, we're going to try to help them land on their feet, them and their families, so they can get a job. And this bill is helping do just that. We've done two things this year that I'm very proud of. First of all, we are going to have legislation in the budget which gives in-state tuition to members of the military who want to attend our community colleges and our four-year colleges. Isn't that good news? Yes, sir. They deserve it. They deserve it. We recognize that a lot of members of the military who may live on military bases throughout North Carolina, they might be they might be residents of South Carolina or Florida or Colorado or Texas. But when they come home, we want them to stay in North Carolina. We want them to be able to get the education they deserve. And that legislation, I guarantee you, that will be a part of our budget, right, Senators? We'll have that. That's one area there's no problems with negotiations. But the second thing is this, and this is where these senators have done such an outstanding job, and that is this, is that there's a lot of skills that each of you have attained that, frankly, you can't just learn in a textbook. And you've actually learned more than often you learn in school. It's kind of on-the-job training. And sometimes it's on-the-job training even under fire. And this is from being able to repair something, driving a major truck, to working on computers, you name it. The skills that our military men and women are learning in the field is second to none. And there is absolutely no reason for when they come back and they've already attained those skills that they have to go get recertified through some technicality to earn their credit. And what this bill is actually doing is saying you've already earned that credit, whether it be a college credit or a community college credit, by what you did in the field. And you don't then have to spend more money and take more time to prove that you already can do what you've already proved you've done. Does that make sense? And you deserve it. You've proven yourself, and you don't need to prove it through going through an academic structure again and spending the time and the resources to do it. And that's what this legislation is all about. And let me tell you the second piece of things that this legislation is going to help us with. It's going to help us recruit businesses to North Carolina. Because I've told individuals in this building before, it's not only we're going to thank you and reward you and appreciate you, but I'm also going to use you as a recruitment tool to businesses that we're recruiting in North Carolina right now. And the number one thing that employers are looking for when they're deciding whether to come to North Carolina or go to another state is, do you have the talent? Do you have the talent to fill the job needs that I as an employer currently need? And what this does is allow us to show the employers of North Carolina and employers that are considering North Carolina that we have military veterans and we have military personnel that are coming home that already have the talent. You don't even have to wait for them to go to school or go to a class to learn it. They've got it right now. And that's going to give North Carolina a recruiting edge as we cut through the bureaucratic educational red tape, because you already have that talent. And this new law will help us convert military training into commercial driver's license for truck drivers, which we're already doing. It's going to help us with information technology specialist certification. It's going to help us with ASE certification for vehicle mechanics. And also, we soon expect to announce certification or college credit programs for military-trained law enforcement officers and paramedics. Doesn't that make sense? You've gotten that skill in the field and overseas, and this instructs the UNC and North Carolina community college systems, as well as the state licensing boards, to work with the military to develop programs to fill any knowledge or skills gaps between military occupational training and civilian license requirements. Because employers are looking for that license at this point in time. And we ought to make it as easy as we can to get you that license, since you've already got the skill. And that's what we're attempting to do through this legislation. So what's a better way to thank the military, their family, or their spouse for service to their country than to provide them an economic opportunity to get a job? And that's what we want to do for every one of them. I think this is a legislation which is at the forefront of all other states in the United States of America. North Carolina is leading the way. We have legislators who are leading the way, and I have a military team that is leading the way. So I'm very honored to sign this legislation, and I want to thank every one of you for your leadership in this effort. So with that, I'm honored to sign, I think, a very historical piece of legislation that benefits the military, benefits the families, and benefits job creators right here in North Carolina. And God bless each one of you, and God bless each